Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, we're these 3 episodes here, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're concluding Leviticus chapter 27, and as we do that, we're talking about really promises to God and giving to God. The last episode we're talking about giving to God. So the bottom line for yesterday and today is this. If you make a promise to God, God is serious about it, and you need to be serious about it too. And there's not really a changing of the mind like, oh, and I use the example of I have a car and I say, oh, I'm going to dedicate this car to the Lord for his service. I can't 2 years down the road go, oh, you know what? I changed my mind. That car is now mine. Nope. God says if you do that, there's a price that needs to be paid for that. So, okay. This all points to, Jesus dying on the cross and how he redeemed us. All right. So let's look here today. This is called Keeping Your Promise to God, Part 2. And it's taken from Leviticus chapter 27, verses 14 through 28. Keep in mind, yesterday we talked about dedication of people and animals. Today we talk about homes and property being dedicated to the Lord. So again, Leviticus chapter 27, verses 14 to 28. It says this: if anyone dedicates their house as something holy to the Lord, the priest will judge its quality as good or bad. Whatever value the priest then sets, so it will remain. If the one who dedicates their house wishes to redeem it, they must add 1/5 to its value, and the house will again become theirs. Okay, so I say, hey, I got this rental house, and it might be a dump of a rental house, or it might be a good rental house. The priest is the one who decides the value on it, not myself. Okay, so the priest goes and he goes, this is actually a nice house. Okay, it's worth $100,000, and I go, okay. And then 2 years goes around, and I go, you know what? I want to not have that house dedicated to the Lord anymore. Well, I need to pay now $105,000 to redeem that house. Okay. Let's keep reading here. If anyone dedicates to the Lord part of their family land, its value is to be set according to the amount of seed required for it. 50 shekels of silver to a homer of barley seed. If they dedicate a field during the year of Jubilee, the value that has been set remains. But if they dedicate a field after Jubilee, the priest will determine the value according to the number of years that remain until the next year of Jubilee, and its set value will be reduced. Okay, let me stop there. You're going to get all confused here about the year of Jubilee. The values change, and if you don't understand the year of Jubilee, go back a couple episodes and we talk about that, because every 50th year was the year of Jubilee, and if you had family land, that went back to you. Okay, so you could never sell the land. You were basically leasing it for a period of years until the year of Jubilee. So this whole thing of dedicating this land to the Lord, the values all change, go up and down according to the year of Jubilee. So keep that in mind when we're talking about this. There's a whole lot of kind of rules that go with this, because the values change based on the year of Jubilee. Okay, verse 18. But if they dedicate a field after Jubilee, the priest will determine the value according to the number of years that remain until the next year of Jubilee, and its set value will be reduced. If the one who dedicates the field wishes to redeem it, they must add 1/5 to its value, and the field will again become theirs. If, however, they do not redeem the field, or if they have sold it to someone else, it can never be redeemed. When the field is released in the Jubilee, it will become holy, like a field devoted to the Lord. It will become the priestly property. Verse 22, if anyone dedicates to the Lord a field they have bought, which is not part of their family land, the priest will determine its value up to the year of Jubilee, and the owner must pay its value on that day as something holy to the Lord. In the year of Jubilee, the field will revert to the person from whom it was bought, the one whose land it was. Every value is to be set according to the sanctuary shekel, 20 gerahs to the shekel. Okay, so if you were the one that bought the land, you could dedicate it to the Lord. But again, its value was only valued according to the year of Jubilee, because after the year of Jubilee, you didn't own that land anymore. And so that's how this all plays out. Okay? Verse 26, no one, however, may dedicate the firstborn of an animal, since the firstborn already belongs to the Lord. Okay? You can't dedicate something to the Lord that's already the Lord's. All right? And that's all it's saying here. And it's whether it's an ox or a sheep, it is the Lord's. If it is one of the unclean animals, it may be bought back at its set value, according to the fifth of the value, adding a fifth of the value to it. If it is not redeemed, it is to be sold at its set value. Okay, so an unclean animal, you were to sell it, and that money would be used. It would be part of the gift. Okay, God didn't want the unclean animals, but the value of that money was to be used for God. Verse 28. But nothing that a person owns or devotes to the Lord, whether a human being or an animal or a family land, may be sold or redeemed. Everything so devoted is most holy to the Lord. Okay? So as we conclude these two, yesterday and today, again, the bottom line is this. God took his promises seriously. When he made a covenant, he never changed the covenant. And if you look in the Bible, God stays the same. Okay? He stays the same yesterday, today, and forever. Okay? So when he makes a covenant, he keeps his end of the deal. Okay? He made a covenant to Abraham, and he stayed with that covenant. Even though the people were against God and so forth, God still kept his covenant. He asks us, when we make a covenant to God, when we make a promise to God, he expects us to honor that too, and not change our mind 2 years into the thing and go, no, I changed my mind. I want my stuff back. Nope. God says, I take that covenant, I take that promise seriously. All right. So, keep your promise to God. That's the basic thing here. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we conclude Leviticus, talking about the tithe. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.